Hey, Mike. Welcome back. What a wonderful basement. Another job, huh?
So my big wish list is to confirm that we have an exterior weeping. I think over the years, someone has dug down on the outside of the house, reparged it, put it in exterior, because I'm looking at little pipes sticking out the wall. You see that little pipe there?
Yes, yes.
And I think that was an old weeping system, allowed the water to come in inside the house and go into the floor drain.
Currently, with the current code, floor drains are only used for any water that spills on the floor. In the past, the previous code was allowing the weeping tile and the storm water to be draining into the floor drain, right? Hopefully, the drain's been upgraded underground, which would
Make it easier on us,
right?
Did they affect the run of the drain out?
Yeah.
And we won't know that until you do
I
your
scope
work.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm running a video camera through this clean out that I discovered at the side of the house, and I'm running it to determine whether I do have a weeping tile system on the outside or whether this clean out takes me to the inside and it connects to the sanitary line. What I will need is to have someone flush the toilet. This will indicate that this line is connected directly at the bottom of the stack and is part of the sanitary line.
Can you flush the toilet in the basement, please?
There's the water.
So that tells us this is a sanitary drain and not a weeping tile.
The homeowners make a fundamental mistake by flushing a toilet, running a sink, and that gives them a belief that everything is fine underground. And it takes 20 or 30 feet of drain that's 4 inches in diameter to fill with water first before they would actually have a backup in the house. As I push the camera forward out to the street, this is a clean out right at the top here, which is on the front lawn. And then past that, few feet, this is the city line already.
We're not seeing anything to do with the weeping tile.
We don't see anything.
This line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have them break an area on this side of the house to see if there's an interior weeper.
The floor drain's been upgraded. Now I need to run a camera through that floor drain and see if anything connects to it.
Let's do that first.
Sure.
Okay?
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay. This is my basement toilet. So based on the camera inspection, there's no exterior weeping tile, there's no interior weeping tile system. This is not a good news for Mike.
Today was the most imperative day to do what I need to do. That's investigative work. I need to find out where the drains are. Do we have a weeping system, interior, exterior? What's the plumbing like in the floor? What's the structure like? Bringing in Colin, bringing in Martin, and making the next call on what we need to do. Now I have a side drain that I know that runs out to the street. When in all of these houses, it was at the front of the house.
That's correct, yeah.
So this is quite possible that when they did the supposed reno, that they abandoned everything else and ran a whole new line, path of least resistance, coming to the side of the house.
Very possible.
Well, where the hell does that go?
Give me another 5 minutes. I'll test this and I'll get to the bottom of it. So I get my locator with me. Now the head of the camera sends a magnetic signal. It's the sound of the pitch that gives me an indication that I'm over the head of the camera. I do not have drawings to play with. Video camera and locator is the only tool I can use to map out the entire system underground. The fear I have is the line could be either on the inside or outside. And if the line is on the outside, it changes the story.
Found it?
I'm tracing it.
You said 5 minutes.
Well, it's 4 minutes only, right? So
no, it's 40 minutes.
Come on. It is actually running outside. I have my main sanitary line running on the exterior wall, and I don't have direct access to it unless I excavate on the outside of the house. So I can abandon the line here, do new raffing, excavate outside, tie directly into that. So that's the good news. So I have the guys excavating outside. What I would ask you is if you can start digging here and tunnel out as far as you can. And while the excavation outside is taking place, we'll tunnel underneath and we'll try to meet, and so that it would allow us to run the new line. Okay.
was actually a pretty straightforward job for me. The kitchen sink and the entire plumbing arrangement stayed in the original location. So for me, it was literally disconnect the old fixture and then mount the new one. Getting everything removed allowed me to change the copper and upgrade it to the current PEX tubing. So bringing to sort of current standards and material that is being utilized more often now.
So, you see the blue light?
Yeah.
Okay, that tells you your battery's working, right?
Whoa, what did... Get out!
It doesn't like your touch. Oh, it does. Slow down. You're touching me too fast.
Whoa.
Touch it anywhere?